But let's move on to some entertainment news. Let's talk about the Marvels. So the Marvels is out this weekend, just came out Friday, and it's not looking good. We saw this beforehand. I haven't made a video about the Marvels yet, but we saw what was coming. I was tracking everything, and it was looking pretty scary for the Marvels. It was looking like Marvel was in panic mode because the pre-ticket sales were atrocious. The numbers were absolute dog shit, and it was looking like this thing was going to completely bomb. So mind you, that they spent 330, probably more, $330 million between producing this movie, doing a bunch of reshoots, scrambling at the last minute to change the post-credit scene. Allegedly, they tried to change things to create more buzz and get more ticket sales by adding one of the X-Men in the post-credit scene, and between spending over $100 million in marketing the movie, they're well over, probably closer to $350 million. And let's look at this headline here. The Marvels has the worst opening weekend ever for any MCU film at $47 million. This is atrocious. Captain Marvel, which was a prequel to this one, did decent. Captain Marvel was somewhere around $1 billion, but that was really because of Infinity War and Endgame. Because remember, at the end of Infinity War, at the very end, Nick Fury pressed a button to call for Captain Marvel, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, this is important. We need to see it." So you sandwich Captain Marvel between Endgame and Infinity War, and making it seem like it was must see, as if it was crucial to the overall narrative. We found out that Marvel tricked us. So that's the reason why that movie did so good. It wasn't because of Brie Larson with her resting bitch face. It wasn't anything to do with the character Captain Marvel, because Captain Marvel has never caught fire in the comics. Captain Marvel has never had massive sales in comic book stores because this character has never really caught on with the fan base. But you create a film pushing all this feminism, pushing all this equity, diversity, inclusion, whatever you want to call it, and your movie bombs. Does absolutely horrible. In fact, let's look at this here. These are the lowest grossing Marvel Cinematic Universe movie openings. So the lowest opening weekends in MCU history. The bottom of the barrel, the lowest one. The Marvels at $47 million, and way lower, over $8 million less than the Hulk. And remember, the Hulk was made, what, 15 years ago? Ticket sales have nearly doubled. So if the Hulk with the same ticket sales came out now, it would be over $100 million. So it would be more than double. You got more than double the ticket sales as a Hulk did. This is atrocious. Ant-Man and some of these lows like Captain America, Thor, the Hulk. This was early on in the MCU when people were grasping the concept of the MCU. People didn't know it was this large cinematic universe. They were just introducing the characters. But you can really put it along something that's more recent, like the Eternals. Came out in 2021, doing this whole COVID scare when they were fear mongering, making people stay at home. The Eternals, way more than a Marvel. So the MCU is dying. Let's look at this cinema score here. So the Marvels is the lowest in MCU history, obviously tied with that atrocious Ant-Man movie that came out earlier this year. And again, Eternals, because what they did with Eternals was took a bunch of obscure characters, a bunch of unknown characters, and changed them. They used the characters' their name. They wanted to turn some of them gay without too much pushback because people didn't know these characters to begin with. So that movie did terrible. And Ant-Man 3, with all the potential it had, was absolute dog shit. So the Marvels is tied with them in cinema score, which basically means, as you can see, all these movies here have an A, but these movies here have a B. B sounds like it's decent, but when it comes to these action adventure type, sci-fi type movies, like these Marvel movies, a B is terrible. A B is good for a horror movie, but these type of movies having a B is terrible. And what it indicates is word of mouth for this movie is going to be piss poor, which means they're going to have an enormous drop off the next weekend, and they're not going to make their money back. They needed to make about $650-700 million to break even on this. To see profit, you need to get somewhere about $800 million to really be comfortable and to be happy with this project. So even though Bob Iger had investors thinking that they were really confident with this movie and it was going to do well, they're about to lose probably $200 million on this movie. And it's their own fault because they have absolute dog shit writing, garbage writing. They pushing all this diversity, equity, inclusion, feminism. They're talking about Most of the heroes in the MCU are going to be female. Wokeness, they changing the race of characters for no reason at all. Like I said in Eternals, turning some of the characters gay for no reason at all. All they had to do was follow the money. So Endgame comes, you're done with the Thanos sequel, so quickly move on to something else that fans will be excited about without the wokeness. All they had to do was move right on, right away to the X-Men or to Doctor Doom and the Fantastic Four, something like that. But no, they wanted to slap their fans in the face and said, we can put out all types of crap and you guys are still going to be here. As you see, they flooded Disney Plus with all types of garbage shows like She-Hulk and Secret Invasion, a show where they completely destroyed the character of Nick Fury and completely embarrassed the character. They're going to lose a ton of money with this, but nothing's going to change as long as we have the same leadership. As long as Iger them, Kevin Feige them are in charge of this, we're going to see the same old stuff. They, for the sake of their liberal ideology, they will burn the MCU to the ground. They will burn Disney as a whole to the ground to push their Democrat agenda. And on top of that, these guys are arrogant as hell. Kevin Feige and them, they think they know everything and they think that they can sell anything and that their fan base is going to buy it, even though over the last several years they've been hemorrhaging money on all these box office bumps. But good luck with that. Hey, before you go, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, share the video. Thank you for watching.